Hello my dear students. In the previous video we studied how to solve the quadratic equation by the method of completing the square and by quadratic formula. Today we are going to take the word problem of this chapter. Let us start. We have to do exercise 4.3 and 4.4. All the word problems of these two exercises we are going to take. Question number 4 of exercise 4.3 is the sum of the reciprocals of Rahman's ages 3 years ago and 5 years from now is 1/3. So find his present age. Now you know how to write the language, so I'm not going into that detail. I'll just explain how to frame the equation. So let his present age be x years, and we need the age, Rahman's age 3 years ago. So 3 years ago his age was x minus 3 years, and we need his age after 5 years. So after 5 years his age will be x plus 5 years, and they are given that the sum of reciprocals of these ages. So sum of reciprocal means 1 upon x minus 3 plus 1 upon x plus 5. The reciprocal, the sum is 1/3. Now you can easily solve the equation. You will take the LCM, simplify it, and then you are going to get a quadratic equation. Now when you are getting a quadratic equation, you can solve it by any of the method. If you can solve it by factorization, by splitting the middle term, you can use it. If you want to use quadratic formula, that also you can use, that formula also you can use. And whenever you are getting the value of x, you are going to get two values. So if in negative you are getting the answer, you can see here we need to find the age over there here. So in that case we are going to negate the negative answer of the negative value of x. So I hope you will be able to do this one. Next question number 5 is, in a class test the sum of Shefali's marks in maths and English is 30. Had she got 2 marks more in maths and 3 marks less in English, the product of their marks would have been 210. Find her marks in the two subjects. So let us assume she got in maths, let Shefali's marks in maths be x and in English be y. If you are taking y, it's fine. Otherwise you can take 30 minus x. So let us take 30 minus x, because the sum of the marks in the two subjects is 30. So if I am assuming marks in one subject as x, marks in other subject, that is in English, will be 30 minus x. And now the condition is given that had she got 2 marks more in maths. So according to the condition, in maths if she would have got 2 marks more and 3 marks less in English, that is 30 minus x, it was there. Now 3 marks less in English, the product of their marks would have been 210. So the product of this is equals to 210. This is actually 27 minus x plus 2 equal to 210. Now after this you can frame the equation by simplifying, multiplying inside, and you will be getting one equation. Now here you will be getting, after solving, you will get x is equals to 12 and x is equals to 13. So here both the values are valid. You cannot neglect any one of them. So you will be writing, if she got 12 marks in maths, in English she is getting 30 minus x, that is in English she got 18 marks. And the second case is, if she got 13 marks in maths, so in that case in English she is getting 17 marks. So these two possibilities are there, so both the answers are correct. Question number 6 is, the diagonal of a rectangular field is 60 meters more than the shorter side. If the longer side is 30 meters more than the shorter side, then we have to find the side of the rectangular field. So you can see here that the diagonal is depending on the shorter side and the longer side is also depending on the shorter side. So we'll have to assume shorter side of the rectangular field. So let the shorter side be x meters. Fine. Let us draw the figure. Now the shorter side of this rectangle is x meters the diagonal is 60 meter more than the shorter side. So this is the diagonal, this is 60 meters more than the shorter side, and the longer side is 30 meter more than the shorter side. So this is how we are getting the figure, and since it is a rectangular field, so we are having a right angle triangle. So by applying the Pythagoras theorem, we can frame the equation here. So other longer side is x plus 30, diagonal is x plus 60 meters. You can write it yourself. I'm directly using by Pythagoras theorem. X plus 60, that is hypotenuse, square of x plus 60 is equals to x plus 30 whole square plus x square. So we'll solve it. We'll expand using the identity. X square plus 3600, that is a square plus b square plus 2ab, that is 2 into 60 into x, 120x. Similarly here, we'll get x square plus 900 plus 60x and plus x square. With 1x square will get cancelled. Okay, now we can just simplify it further. I'm bringing x square this side. X square plus 120x minus 60 is going to give me 60x. 3600 minus 900 will give us 2500. Fine? Sorry, 2700. Now I just want to remove this sign, so I can take minus common throughout, and this is the final equation. After this, you can use the splitting the middle term method to factorize the equation, or if you are not able to find the factors of 2700 to get 60, you can use quadratic formula also. So I am using quadratic formula. We know that here a is equals to 1, b is equals to minus 60 and c is equals to minus 2700. Okay, so the formula is x is equals to minus b plus minus under root b square. B square is minus 60, that is 3600, minus 4ac. Minus 4 into 2700 is going to give you plus 10800 whole upon 2 into a, that is 2. So we'll see the calculation. We are getting x is equals to 60 plus minus under root, this will give us 14,400 whole upon 2. So 60 plus minus, you know 144 is the square of 12, and the square root of this will give us 120 whole upon 2. So x is equals to 60 plus 120 upon 2, and other value will be 60 minus 120 upon 2. So we are getting 180 upon 2, that is 90, and from here we are going to get negative value. So we can neglect this value because we are finding the sides of a rectangular field which cannot be negative. Now when you got the value of x, because we have to find the sides, so this is the shorter side, then you will have to find the longer side, that is 90 plus 30, 120 meters, and then the diagonal 90 plus 60, that is 150 meters, and in the last you should write the statement in one line. Number 7 is the difference of squares of two numbers is 180. The square of the smaller number is 8 times the larger number, and we have to find the numbers, two numbers. So let us take the numbers be x and y. Please write the language. It is given that the difference of squares of two numbers. So x square minus y square is 180. The square of the smaller number is 8 times. When I have written this, it means x, the number x is greater than y. So now we'll take the square of the smaller number is 8 times the larger number. So smaller number is y. Its square is 8 times the larger number, that is 8 into x. Okay, so now we got the two equations. We can put this value here, equation 1, equation 2, put 2 in 1. So 1 implies x square minus 8x minus 180 equal to 0. So we frame the equation. Now here you will get two values of x. X is equals to 18 and x is equals to minus 10. Here also we'll have to neglect minus 10 because actually we can accept this number also, but condition will have to check that whether this number is satisfying that condition. What is that condition? It is given that the square of the smaller number is 8 times the larger number. If this is the x, that is the larger number, so this condition will not get satisfied, because how a square can be equal to negative of some number? So that is why we'll have to neglect this value and we'll just take x is equals to 18. So it means that we should check our answer by putting the answers again back to the given condition, so that we can just verify the answer whether we are getting the correct one or not. Question number 8. A train travels 360 km at a uniform speed. If the speed had been 5 km per hour more, it would have taken 1 hour less for the same journey. So find the speed of the train. Now this kind of question we have already done in linear equations and two variables also. We are going to follow the same approach. Let the speed of the train be x km per hour. This is the speed and the distance it covered is 360 km. So the time taken in this case will be distance upon speed, that is 360 upon x hours. Now if the speed had been 5 km per hour more, so now the speed has increased by 5 km per hour and the distance remains the same, that is 360 km. So now the time taken will be 360 upon x plus 5, and they have given that this is 1 hour less than the original time. So the difference of the time is given, that is 360 upon x minus 360 upon x plus 5 is equals to 1. So from here we are getting the equation. You can easily solve it by using any method, and again if you are getting any negative value you can neglect that value, because we have to find the speed of the train and it cannot be negative. Question number 9 is, two water taps together can fill a tank in 9 3/8 hours. The tap of larger diameter takes 10 hours less than the smaller one to fill the tank separately. Find the time in which each tap can separately fill the tank. Now this is the type of question which is based on time and work, and we know that time is the reciprocal of work. First of all, it is given that they are taking together 9 3/8 hours. That means it is given that they are completing the task in 9 3/8 hours. So if I reciprocate it, first of all let us find that how much time it is making. This is 75 upon 8 hours. Both the taps are taking to complete the task. So the reciprocal of this time is going to give me that in 1 hour how much part of tank they are filling together. Fine. So let us assume that let the time taken by larger tap be x hours and takes 10 hours less than the smaller one. So let us assume that the smaller one is taking x hours, so larger tap will be taking, you can write this yourself, x minus 10 hours. Okay, now this is the time they are taking to complete the task. So its reciprocal will give us 1 hour work they have done. So in 1 hour, what part of tank they have filled? It is 1 upon x, and the larger one 1 upon x minus 10, and we got the value of 1 hour work, that is how much part of the tank was filled in 1 hour by both the taps was 8 upon 75. So we are getting the equation from here. You can again simplify it. You will get the quadratic equation. You can solve it by any of the method and you will be getting the values. Two values, neglect the negative one, and this is it. Question number 10 you will be doing yourself because it is similar to the speed and time related question. So it will be easier for you. Question number 11 is sum of the areas of two squares is 468 meters square. If the difference of their perimeters is 25 meter, find the sides of the two square. So let us assume the sides of the two squares first. So let the side of one square be x meters and the other square be y meters. And what are the conditions given? That the sum of the areas of the two squares. So if one square is this one, whose side is x, and the other is whose sides are y. So what will be the area? What is the area of the square? It is side square, that is x square, and of the other one it will be y square. And the given is the sum is equals to 468 meters square. One condition. Second, they have given if the difference of the perimeters is 24 meters. What is the perimeter of a square? 4x and the other one will be 4y. The difference is 24 meter. If I am taking that 4x is the greater one, or according to the figure if I go 4y is the greater one, so 4y minus 4x will give us 24 meter. Now we got the equation. I can further simplify it so that calculations are easier. Y minus x is equals to 6. So the value of x we are getting y minus 6, or you can find the value of y from here. Y is equals to 6 plus x. So this I am going to put in this equation first. Put in equation 1. Because I am comfortable with x, that's why I am using the value of y. Otherwise this is also correct. Now I am putting the value here. So the equation is x square plus y square, that is 6 plus x whole square is equals to 468. Now you will apply the identity over here. You will simplify it further, and then by using the quadratic formula you can easily find the values of the sides of the two squares. So now with this question we have finished this exercise. We'll move on to the next exercise. We'll just take the word problem over there. I'm just going to tell you one problem, because there you just have to find whether that equation is possible or not. So let us see how we are going to do that. Exercise 4.4. I'm directly taking question number 4. We have to check whether the given situation is possible or not. So how we are going to check? Let us try to frame the equation first. The sum of the ages of two friends is 20 years. The sum of the ages is given as 20 years. 4 years ago, the product of their ages in years was 48. So we have to determine their ages if the situation is possible. So let us try to frame the equation. Let the ages of the friend, one friend be x and the other friend be y years. Now 4 years ago, this age would be x minus 4 and the age of this friend would be y minus 4 years. Now we'll see the condition. The sum is given as x plus y is equals to 20. So we can find the value of y from here, that is 20 minus x. And the second condition is given that 4 years ago, whatever their ages was, the product of their age in years was 48. So we have to take the product of these two ages. It is given 48. The value of y we can put from here, x minus 4, y is 20 minus x minus 4 equal to 48. Now we are getting 20 minus 4, 16 minus x is equals to 48, and we can simplify it. We'll get 16x minus x square minus 64 plus 4x is equals to 48. And finally we are getting the equation minus x square, 16x plus 4x plus 20x minus 64 and minus 48 equal to 0. Minus x square plus 20x, and this is giving us 112 equal to 0. So if I just remove, I'll take the sign, minus sign common. So I'll get x square minus 20x plus 112 equal to 0. Now before solving it further, we'll have to check whether this situation is possible or not. How we are going to check it? To check it, we'll have to find discriminant. If you remember, what is discriminant? This is b square minus 4ac. So we'll write the value of a, b, c. A is 1, b is minus 20, and c is 112. So if this b square minus 4ac is greater than equal to 0, if we'll find that it is some positive value or equal to 0, then this situation is possible, otherwise not. So in some cases you can find that this value is coming as negative. So there you will not be able to find solve the equation. So we'll just put the value minus 20 square minus 4 into a into c. 400 minus 4 2s are 8, 4 1s are 4, 4 1s are 4. So this is coming as negative. It means that here this situation is not possible and we cannot solve it further. So if we would have got greater than equal to 0, the value greater than equal to 0 of discriminant, then we could have solved it further. But in this case, we will just stop here only. And question number 3 and 5, there also you have to do the same thing. So you can easily frame the equation. Then you should always check whether discriminant, the value of discriminant, the nature of root you should check. If it is greater than equal to 0, then the values are existing, otherwise not. And now only one question is remaining in the whole chapter, where you have to find the value of k when the nature of roots is given. That question I'll cover in the next video. I am going to take different type of question. So I'll be making one more video in this chapter, and then this chapter is going to over. So complete your work till here. Thank you.